Charles Barkley, the Hall of Famer, joining us on the show. I survived Dennis Rodman last hour, Chuck.
He's a good dude, isn't he, man?
He was fun. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard this song before, but here's Dennis Rodman with a song that I had not heard before, but he sang it for us.
It's kamikaze time. It's kamikaze time. It's time to blow your mind. It's kamikaze time. Slick it up. Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I love Dennis, man. He's a really good guy. I mean, he's different, but I like him a lot as a person. So I got nothing but love and respect for DR.
I also asked Dennis to compare LeBron James to Michael Jordan. This is what he had to say.
It's really not a comparison. I'm just saying, if LeBron was playing in the late 80s and the early 90s, he was just an average player. I mean, but to do what Michael has done, I mean, dude, seriously, Michael did what he did. It was more charisma. It was more articulate and stuff like that. LeBron is more like boom. Okay, there ain't no flash to his game. I mean, he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's a hell of a player. Give him that, to be his size and stuff like that. But for me, I think Scotty and Michael are probably the two best 1-2 punches I've ever seen, dude. Seriously, I've ever seen.
LeBron average if he played back in the 80s or 90s?
I'm going to give him a pass. I'm not sure about average. LeBron's, it's an honor and a pleasure to watch LeBron play every night. He's spectacular. I mean, he's unbelievable. But listen, man. Karl Malone left Michael Jordan up his all-time team. It's hard to say I disagree with those guys, but they're entitled to their opinion.
Well, when Carl was on the show and he said it, and then he came back the next day and called in and said, I'm just messing with you because you got a man crush on Michael Jordan. I'm like, dude, you were backing up while you're picking Scottie Pippen instead of Michael Jordan. Is there animosity? Not everybody liked Jordan. You respected him, but do you think there's animosity there with some of these guys who lost out to Jordan?
It shouldn't be. I mean, you got to respect competition. You should respect competition. I mean, that's the best thing about sports. I tell people, for me, I played against Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Karl Malone, Michael, obviously, John Stockton. So the best player I ever played against was Kevin McHale. So you got to respect talent. That's what sports is, watching great talent.
I was just a little bit of surprise. I don't know if he went out of his way to not pick Michael just to have some fun, but he was saying, look, Scotty led the team in every category when Mike.
Listen, nobody thinks Scottie Pippen better than Michael Jordan. I mean, come on.
Not even Scotty.
Not even Scotty. Like Scottie Pippen was, if he was watching your show, he's like, wow, dude, you picked me over Michael.
Let's look at last night's game. And I don't know what stood out for you. If your takeaway from this game one is what?
The Heat can't beat the Spurs unless LeBron. The same thing I said last series. Me and Kenny talked about. The Heat are a very flawed team unless LeBron goes crazy, and he went crazy 4 games, and they beat the Pacers. If he doesn't go, I picked the Spurs because I think the Spurs. You saw last night. They're not going to let him go crazy. They basically played a zone.
Yeah.
And they're not going to let him go crazy. That's why I think Pop is just listen. He gave the ball. He said, "You pass that ball to Chris Bosh. Let him shoot threes. You pass that ball to Mario Chalmers." I thought that was the difference. They basically played a zone every time LeBron got the ball, and unless he dominates 4 games, which I don't think he's going to be able to do against them, because there's 2 things. Now, one, I think Pop ain't going to let it happen, but also I don't think they're going to turn the ball over like the Pacers did. Because you saw all their flaws against the Pacers, but you factor in the Spurs are going to play a little better defense because the Pacers say we'll leave Roy Hibbert back there, let him do everything. The problem with leaving Roy Hibbert back there, you leave a bunch of stuff wide open for guys. You got Ray going 1 game. It got Bosh going a couple games, and that was the difference in the series. But LeBron, I don't think he's going to be able to dominate 4 games against the Spurs.
What happened to Chris Bosh?
He's a good player. He's an undersized power forward, and he got beat to death by Roy Hibbert and David West, and he's probably just lost a little confidence.
Well, he's shooting threes, and if I'm Popovich,
Well,
in
he
San
made
Antonio,
threes last series and nobody complaining. I hate when reporters do that. He made some threes in the first couple rounds. Everybody said, "Oh, I love the way he spreads the floor." So I don't do that little.
No. I don't want a 6'11" two guard unless.
Yeah, but I'm saying that when he made them in the last couple of series, nobody was complaining.
I don't know. No.
I hate when Espen does that, man. He made those shots last series, not last series, but the series before, the first couple, and people talk about how well he spread the floor. So I don't believe that. The thing that should scare Miami, the Spurs didn't play good.
They didn't hit. They had a lot of open shots.
I thought they were rusty on offense, and I picked the Spurs in 6. I'm gonna have to change that. I don't think they're gonna get out of San Antonio. I really want to say something silly right now. I think they could sweep Miami. To be honest with you, I do, because I think that they're gonna play great defense on LeBron. LeBron had a monster game last night. But you factor in, they're not going to let him dominate. And Tony Parker's not going I don't think he's going to have, you talk about the Pacers who actually outplayed the Spurs. The Spurs won't have 15 turnovers in any game, let alone a half.
Well, Parker didn't have a turnover last night.
No, but I'm just saying, because he's the best point guard in the NBA. But they won't have, there are other players the game 7 where the Pacers had 15 turnovers in one half.
Yeah.
The Spurs, I don't think they're going to have 15 turnovers in any game.
I think it comes down to Dwyane Wade. If he's not able to be anywhere near what we think of Dwyane Wade, it just LeBron doesn't have a consistent supporting cast there. That would be my big concern. Wade played well first half and then died in the second half.
Well, Wade's not the same player, so that's not going to happen. But I'm telling you something. If I'm Miami, I'm worried about number one. I do think the Spurs could sweep them, but I don't think they're going to get out of. I really don't think they're going to get out of San Antonio.
But Charles, if you look, we're talking to Charles Barkley. If you're looking at the Miami Heat, the way they're assembled right now, is this the way Dwyane Wade is going to be for the rest of his career?
Yes.
Wow.
Because he's older. He's once Dan, you start slowing down once you pass 30. Like we always talk about, players. We says your best between 25 and 32. That's when you start slowing down at 32. But you factor in all the injuries with Dwyane, he's going to start slowing down, which is right about now.
Well, the problem I have, though, is he's not a good enough jump shooter to just rely on that the rest of his career, that he's always got to the hoop.
That's why he's really showing, because he didn't work on it. He didn't. Because think about Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. When those guys started losing their superpowers, Michael became a post-up player and a good, solid jump shooter. Same thing with Kobe. Now Dwyane, he didn't work on that the last few years of his game when he started, because he was playing on talent. And now it's really starting to show, because he was outpowered against Stevenson because he couldn't physically outperform him. And it's going to be a very difficult series for him trying to chase Danny Green around. But think about it. Even as great as Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant were, the last few years of Michael's career, remember, he posted up a lot.
Yeah.
He became a good jump shooter, but he posted up a lot, because everybody loses their talent. Everybody loses their talent. And the same thing with Kobe. Kobe became more of a post-up player and a better jump shooter. Dwyane he didn't develop that part of his game because he was so talented. And then it didn't show because he was playing with LeBron. And now he's like, I can't run and jump like I used to, and it's just really showing.
Do you think that LeBron will end his career in Miami?
Well, I do. I think you have to wait and see how this summer goes. I mean, because I think, like I say, I picked the Spurs. I think they got to do something, because Dwyane's only going to get older, and Chris Bosh is not going to get any bigger. So I think what's going to happen this summer is Pat Riley's got to do something to make LeBron want to stay there. I mean, because he can't take a chance of LeBron opting out of his contract. So like I say, Dwyane's just going to get older, and Chris Bosh is not going to get any bigger.
Can I take a break and come back? I want to ask you about the Clippers, George Karl, and
sure.
If you're Kobe, what do you say to have Dwight Howard stay? We'll continue with Charles Barkley.